come everything's working now. Unplug. I think we can safely say at this point, I mean, I got the floor cleaned, I got asbestos in that bag. There's asbestos board over here I may end up using, and hopefully the two big ones I'll definitely use. Maybe that little one, part of it even, but I don't know. I want to use as much as of it can because we don't want to have to pay to discard of it, or actually even discard it if we don't have to. And here we are, you know, we've got everything hooked up. Ground wire, the two plugs there, and our lines, and then, you know, this thing's working, so yeah, I will crank this thermostat right back up again. And right up to full. The wires are cool. There's no heat. So that's our check. Just in case anyone wanted to know, that's what we did. Okay, we have a wire here that was in the wall. I had to chop this out because I was checking for suspicious things. Found it. This wire had a hole through that stud, and a hole through that stud. No hole through that stud. That's smart. It's not smart, it's fucking stupid. So now I have to fix it. Show you how I do it. Fucking stupid. You can't have that. I pour it over that, eh? Whatever. Eh? No. Sorry. Well, here we are. I finally did all the pre-filling of all the patches that I had to make, pulling drywall out so that I could access wiring. And there's, you know, above the panel, I was just trying to make sure I knew what was going on, because this wiring looked like a two-stage thing at completely different times. And the wiring that was in for the baseboard heater, when I pulled pieces of drywall off, I found, for instance, right up in the corner up there, they just draped the wire right over the corner in the stud and put the board on it, which I guess is not too bad, but why didn't they just do it right? And up here, in that patch, there are two, because they have wires going two different directions there, the red wiring, and they just put it on top of the stud and then board it over top of the board, or over top of, they just put it over top of the stud, then board it over top of the wire, and when I pulled that patch off, the wire had been nicked and frayed, kind of, slightly anyway, the outer red casing from the boarding. And it's just not a good place, it's not a good thing to do. So I put the protective metal plates on and chiseled out the bottom of the floor joist a bit so I could stick the wire in there and then put the plate over. So we did it there. I also did it here where I had to run over well, actually I didn't. I drilled through the stud right here. I drilled through that stud, but it was a little close to there. So I put a plate over that so it would never get screwed onto, right? And then there was this one up here. Right up in there, we had a wire just like, see that screw? That screw is a floor joist, right? It's going that way. And the red wire was just draped right across it and the board was put on. And there was a patch there that you could see that the thing was bumpy and lumpy because of the fact that the wire made it an uneven patch. Now it's not an uneven patch, and we'll be able to texture that and hide it really good after we get some tape on that. So And down here, oh boy, this was sure fun. I think you remember it. We had sideways studs. We had an old braided cable line going from down here where this stud is, right along the bottom of the floor, right down there in that little trough. We had it with it had shielding on it, but nevertheless. And then the baseboard was placed over top of it, and long nails, pop gun nails I call them, the pop gun, were driven through it, and I think one of them actually even pierced the shell of the wire. And this is the wire we're talking about here. You see how that wire is split? I don't know how the hell that happened.